Hi, it's Lisa again, and I'm back with another video. This video is going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. For the past 2 years, I always highlighted items that I bought or things I came across that I like, but I wanted to do something a little bit different because this is something that I am currently in reach of. And I always one of my New Year's resolutions is always to, just be better with my money. But, saving, spending savvy, as I'm getting older and, as I have moved into a place by myself that it's up to me, to, keep things running and then going and yeah, so it's no roommate, no spouse, no whatever. So it's just up to me to maintain my household. So one of my sorority sisters, I went out with her a couple of times, and I always noticed she always pulled out these envelopes, and she was like keeping track of right now what she spent, writing down, preparing. And I was just like, oh, she was like, I'm trying to pay off my debt. I'm trying to be better financially. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And so I was just thinking, I need to, become more savvy and spend less and save more and, try to make my dollars stretch, in the meantime. So I had, text her and I was like, could you tell me, about that method you use to, handle your finances and your budgeting? She said, girl, go on YouTube and just look up Dave Ramsey's envelope method. So she said, everything you would need to know what I'm doing is in those videos. So I went on there, and there was a ton of a ton of videos about how people were, managing, budgeting, and, saving and paying off debt and all that good stuff, which is fine. And I'm already like on board. Outside of this envelope method, I racked up a bunch of credit card bills. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have anything to be ashamed about. I mean, just like any other, young professional, what happened to me, I know some people accumulated a ton of credit cards while they was at college. Well, while I was in college, I might have had one or two. My problem with credit cards arose after college. I was getting credit cards thinking like, oh, I got a job, so I could pay these credit cards off. So I got the money, I could do it. And then one credit card led to another, and one credit card led to another. I'm just swiping, doing stuff. I didn't realize there was a problem until it was time for me to start thinking about moving out. And, I decided I was going to try to pursue purchasing property. Went through some first time home owner classes, and I was going to get into a program. And when I went to start the first step of the process, I was going through a first time home buyer grant thing. The lady told me that, well, your credit is great, but your debt to income ratio is kind of off. And I honestly wouldn't recommend you buying anything. So I'm going to suggest that you come up with a plan to get rid of this debt, and then come back and, pursue the option of, purchasing a home. So I said, okay, I understand that, fine. So I said, okay, if I'm not going to, buy a place, and I could go rent an apartment. So that was one apartment. I mean, I see a lot of places they were ready for me to move in. There was a condo that I saw that I just like fell in love with. It was a huge balcony in a nice, beautiful, safe neighborhood. It was 6 to 7 minutes away from my job. I just said, this is going to be awesome. This is perfect. I was fine with the renter's price. And the man said, okay, just run the credit report, bring me a copy, and we'll move forward. If, had me pre-fill out the paperwork. So he called me back. He said, well, we think we met you. It was him and his wife. He said, we met you. We thought you was awesome. You're doing great things with your job and in your community. But unfortunately, we just fearful that, you might not have the means to pay for this. And I said, well, sir, with all due respect, if I sign these papers, I'm going to make sure you get your money, because the way my parents raised me, we was always told, my brother and I was always told, you pay your bills first. As long as you have a roof over your head, your lights are on, you got food on your table, and you got money you got money to put gas in your tank car to get you to work to go make more money, that's all that count. All this extra with going out, partying, and traveling, that's extra. You need to make sure you have money for the necessaries of life. So I told him that, and then just unfortunately he was saying, and then the thing about it, before he saw my credit report, he was only gonna have me. I didn't have to do first and last month. He just said he'll prorate me for whenever I moved in. If I was gonna move in the first beginning of the month, then I'll pay the full amount. But if I was gonna move in, somewhere in the middle, he was gonna prorate it, and I didn't have to do a first or last month. He said, well, I'll give it to you, but I want 2 months up front. No, he said 3 months up front. And then if I see that, you're making any payments, fine, then I probably, later on would, give you maybe 3 months a break, because she gave me 3 months up front. Now, this wasn't first and last. Remember, because he wasn't asking me for first and last. He just said I just move in and just start paying, because this is a condo that they own and they have a home as well. So he said it was becoming difficult to maintain both of the mortgages. And he wasn't looking for nobody to do first and last month. But because of this situation, he wanted me to give him 3 months up front. And I said, well, and trust me, I'm new to the whole apartment renting, all this stuff. So I didn't understand. I mean, when I got my apartment in, college, it was just, you paid your security deposit, and then you just start, whatever security deposit was, which I think at the time I'm living in Macomb, Illinois, it might have been $200 or $300. So you put that down, and then you just, we did that before we left from school break. I mean, left for summer break. Then you come back, you just start paying your rent. So I didn't know all about this first, last month security and all this stuff, because we just paid that deposit. I moved in that August, like maybe 3 weeks in the middle of that August, and they prorated me for that month, and I just started paying when I was in college. So I thought how things work. The first, last month, and I said, okay, if I give you the 3 months up front, from what I got, okay, that I give you 3, so I don't have to pay you again until, 3 months later. He was saying, no, you have to give me the 3 months up front and then pay. So I would give him 3 months of rent and then just start paying. I was like, wow, that's just a bit much. So I declined that apartment. And then, my brother, was saying, I'm, looking to purchase a property. You want to, go ahead and, just move in. We could just live in a building together. So it worked out. Long story short, it worked out. But I do want to own a house one day, and it just made me think I'm getting older. I'm not going to be young forever. I need to be more satisfied with my money, and then eventually I might get married. I might have kids, and I just can't keep on being frivolous. And not that I always pay my bills. Let's get this up front. I always pay my bills. It was just like the spending aspect of everything. So, I just, wanted to do better in budgeting. I got my money together to move into this place. It worked out. Was able to secure everything. But I did not plan for, the day-to-day stuff. I was not prepared for, I didn't pay off a bunch of debt and then moved out. It's like I'm moving out and I'm adding. I got debt, and here's these bills, expenses that I'm adding on top of the debt. So that was a real wake-up call for me within my first year, within his first year being in his place. So now I feel like this summer, compared to last summer, I feel like I'm at a better understanding than I was last summer. I didn't know what it meant not to, okay, you can't go out. You know, you need groceries. You got to put gas in your car. So you're not going to that party and you're not buying that drink and you're not doing that. So, you know, I struggled with that because I felt like I was going to, you know, having withdrawal. And I'm like, well, I feel like I work hard and, you know, as my mom said, you never understood, you know, but welcome to the real world. So I got better with that. And I realized, you know, some of my friends that's out there spending frivolously, they might have about 3 jobs, or, you know, working triple-double overtime, or a few are still at home with their parents. So I don't have, you know, I'm not at that luxury anymore. And then I didn't, you know, living with your parents, you don't realize, you know, because you know, I gave them a few bucks. I bought some groceries, cleaned up, contributed around the house here and there. But it was nowhere near, you know, what the requirement is to living on your own. So anyway, cutting that off, because it's getting overwhelming. Going back to the videos, so I watched a ton of the Dave Ramsey's videos, and everybody has, you know, they try to follow, but everybody has their unique way of doing things. Some of those families are in there. I don't have kids. I don't have a spouse. I don't have, like, you know, have to put $300 aside for groceries a month or whatever they do. So my expenses are a little less different. I am in a credit card debt program in which I pay one set fee to this company, and it's a very reliable company. I know a lot of people say they take your money, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. I like this company that I use because I'm still getting my credit card stubs. So, and it's showing that this company is doing the payment service. So it's not like they took my money and I don't know what's going on. It's like every month I get a stub from like my credit cards. Like I normally get my bills, and it's showing that the company is paying it off. And then the company sends me a stub showing how much I have paid, how much I have left, and, you know, it's showing the debt goes down. So I can really say my company that I'm using, which the company was like a referral through me reading a Susie Ortman book. I think it was like Young, Rich, and what was that? Young, Fabulous, and Broke. So I came across that in her book about, you know, consolidating your credit cards into one payment. So I've been doing that. Actually, March hit. So when March hit, I had like 1 more year and 3 months. So this time next year, I should have completed the program. Now, I do have credit cards outside this program because they do say keep 1 credit card or 2 for emergencies. And then another credit card I was tied on with my mom. So we didn't put that in there because she used that more than I do. She used that more than I do, so we didn't put it in there. So I pay that in a month. So pretty much the envelope method really helped me. It's just to manage how much money I'm doing for groceries, for my hair, for my pocket, going out, birthdays, and all that type of stuff. So that's really what I use, you know, fees and dues for my church and sorority and my other professional groups. So that's what I use, the envelope method. And so here's what I do. Here's how they say you need to get an envelope. You're supposed to get 7 different envelopes, but, you know, to me, envelopes tear up. So what I did, I just got this this little Concordia file holder, and this came from Target. I got it from the $1 Target deals, and it's just the accordion style. So what I'm supposed to do is every time I get paid or something comes up or I come into some money, you know, I have my different categories to you know, to set the money, to separate the money. So some of the things I have is like for, I'll just show you again, but I'm just going to read off the categories. Hair and beauty. So it's anything with me getting my hair done, getting my feet done, my nails, my eyebrows waxed, anything that got to do with hair / beauty, that before I would go to them. The next is travel. I was always, when I've been talking to people lately, they, I asked them, you guys go on all these trips, or you're always sticking and moving, what do you do? And they said, well, actually, we put money to the side faithfully every month or every time we get paid. And then when it's time to go somewhere, we just go on our travel fund and whatever we have, we're going to use that. Or if we see like we want to go on a trip, but our funds are not there, we step it up a notch, and then we, fill the money, save the money up, and we, be able to go on a trip, and it's not, oh, we got to scratch our heads and figure out how we're going to pay for this trip at the last moment. The next category is special occasions. So special occasions is like birthdays, graduations, weddings, housewarmings, anything, event celebrating that you have to pay something, you have to get a gift for, or if it's a special event or anything, that's what a special occasion category. The next one I got is like call bills. I call them call bills, but that's just bills that don't happen, call bills or special things. That's bills that's not due often. So like, for example, my city sticker, that's not due every month. My state plate for my car, that's not due every month. I pay for a parking permit at my job. That's not every month. So when I say call bills, that's like stuff that's like annually, that doesn't always, require a monthly payment. The next one I have is dues and assessments. I am on a variety of different groups and organizations, and sometimes they require monthly dues or yearly assessments, or just little fees comes up that, you might need to acquire to the organization. And then I have groceries. I have Christmas, towards the Christmas fund. And then I have my sorority fund right now. And then I have my spending money. I don't have a section for clothes. I know some people have a section for clothes. Some people have a section for automobile stuff. I don't have a section for clothes because right now I'm trying to put a ban on shopping for clothes, or I just been using a lot of coupons or gift cards or special hookups. So I've been lucking up with not necessarily like having to budget for clothes. Like, for example, I'll tell you for example, I had 2 coupons for JCPenney's. You spend 10, you get $10 off. So this dress, for example, I have on, this is a long, nice sundress. They had marked it down on clearance for like $19.99. I had a $10 off coupon. So I got the dress for like $9.99, plus taxes like $10, and I paid like, I probably ended up spending $12, and the dress was like probably $22. So that's a prime example. And then I saw a shirt that was on sale for $11.99. I had another $10 off. So I was just able to, I paid $1 and change. So that's the type of shopping that I have been doing lately with clothes. I haven't really been making huge, heavy purchases with clothes. They've just been, significant small purchases. On these earrings I have on, I don't know if you can see them that well, but I was in New York and Company, and they had 80% off on this, and these earrings end up being like $2 and some change. This necklace ended up being like $3 and some change. So right now with clothes, that's how I've been it's just really been real simple types of money, not forking out a lot of dollars for clothes, so it works out. So that's why I really don't have nothing for like a section. In terms of my car, I'm lucky. My dad he worked as a bus repairman. He's a mechanic. So I luck up with my dad because he's able to fix my car. And simply all we have to do is go buy parts and any accessories he would need. I don't have to take it in. I mean, there has been some instances where he went as far as he could go and it needed more attention. But that's what I feel like your savings is for. Savings is for when something happens to the car. Savings is for a medical emergency. That's what your savings is for that type of thing. So I don't necessarily have a category for those things just because I feel like that's what you save up for. In addition to, emergencies if you lose your job and all that good stuff. So that is that. So what I do, I sit down, I get paid twice a month, and so I just try to sit down and map out my bills for the month. So it's 2 pay periods. I always know that one pay period I'll have more money to spare than the other one. So whatever the first pay period of the month, that's usually when all my heavier bills are due. The credit card company is needed their payment. So I know with that time, there's not going to be a lot left. There's going to be some left, but there's not a lot left for me to do. The second pay period of the month, I have a little more money to spare. It's a little less bills. And then some months, it doesn't happen, but maybe twice a year. If we have a third pay period, that's great because in that third check, my school where I work at, they don't take out insurance because the way they budget the insurance is they only take out for twice a month. So what I do, I'm just going to show you a glimpse. I don't want you really to detail into my business about how much I get and make, but I'm just going to show you from a distance of a worksheet, and it's been beat up because it looks beat up because I just go at it if I had to make changes to get it right, to make it fit for that pay period I do. So it looks beat up. So pretty much what it is just like this says bills. I actually got this from somebody that had a link in another video, and I guess the person tried to sell these handouts on Etsy, but I guess they didn't realize that it was easy to copy and paste. So I know they tried to sell off Etsy, but they made a mistake and allowed it the opportunity to copy and paste. So I copy and paste and print them out myself. So it's pretty much, it says bills, and they ask you for your income, your rent, and all that stuff. If you want to fill that out, I don't fill that out. And it tells you, you can fill in like the date and the month. And then you just list down all your bills, how much you're going to get. You can put up top, what I usually just put up top, how much the check is, all the bills that's required for that pay period. And then what's left, I break that down. So some of the stuff I break that down is like what I mentioned in this folder, like gas, hair, groceries, money to myself. If I'm doing some pay periods I don't always give towards Christmas. So if I'm giving to Christmas, if I'm giving some to if I need give money towards a group or organization, and I say groceries. So from there, what I have left, I break that all down and divvy out the monies. So what I do, I get this little sheet, and I won't, like I said, I don't want to get too detailed in my business, but I'll just write out like the stuff after all the bills, the money left after bills. So I just map out on this sheet all the stuff that needs to come, that I'm going to separate out into envelopes or this accordion for. And the next step is I mark down how many 20s I need, how many 10s or 5s or 4s, or 5s or singles or coins. So I map all them out. I will go to the bank, get my money, and then that's how it ends up into this accordion for the different sections. And then when it comes down to myself, which is pocket money, I end up using this. I got these from the Dollar Tree. I had to go around to several different Dollar Trees because not every Dollar Tree has it, surprisingly. So I will, this is what I'm using. I got my wallet still, but I like this because you put all the money there. I got a chart in here, which I also took off of somebody's link. And what you could do is just, when you get paid and you put your money to yourself, you just, because I don't want you in my business like that. You just, so let's just say hypothetically, you got 2 weeks. And you say, I'm going to give myself $100 for 2 weeks. So the plan necessary will be that you separate that $100 out. So you say, I got $100, 50 for 1 week, 50 for next. So you'll just write 50 up top, and then you put your 50 in here, and change or whatever, it goes in here. And every time you spend something, you write it down, write how much it was, and then you make yourself the balance. So that's what I do. Like, okay, hypothetically, I'm just gonna tell you, let's just say hypothetically we're saying $50. So I bought a scratch off that was for $1. I went to CVS, that was $8.14. Now this is within the week. This is not one day or whatever. This is what happened within that week. I went to the dollar store. I went to New Yorker Company. I got something to eat, blah, blah, blah. So that's how it works. And then what I do every Thursday night, I just go back through the list, see what I spent. And then if there's any money left, what I take and do is I take that money and I roll it over to the following week. So for me, to pay myself, that starts on Fridays for me. It don't start, Fridays are paydays or whatever, so I treat every Friday like it's my payday. So I take the other 50, let's say I had $10 left after that $50. So I take that 10, and now I got 50 that's supposed to go into the next week. So I just flip the sheet over. It will be blank. Put $60 up top, and I got $60 until for the next week. And that following week is a pay week, that Friday. So that 60 is going to carry me. And so I'll do the same thing, right? I know it's the night before I get paid. I fill it in. I'll just fill in for the week of what I spent. And then let's say I got $15 left. So whatever from here I'm going to give from this sheet, I'm going to figure it out. The $50 that's left, that's going in the envelope. And then whatever I figure out that goes to myself the next time I get paid, that's going to go in. And then you're going to put that all together, split that by the 2 weeks. That has been working. I'm going to tell you why. And I don't want this video to go too long. It works because you look at how you spend your money differently when you're using cash versus swiping your card. When you swipe your card, you ain't keeping up. To be honest, you're not paying attention. You're just swiping. When you see cash going out, it's a whole different ball game. For example, when I go to the grocery store and I look in that envelope, and if it's $15 in there, that's all we're going to spend. Now, there has been some instances where I might have been a few dollars over, in which I have pulled from my personal money. Depends on the amount. Now, if it's like $2, $3, I'll go in there and pull it. I'll say no more than $5. I'll go in there and pull it and add to the bill. But if it's $15, trust and believe we're going to be $15, as close as $15 as possible. Now, it could be a situation where it's 16, 17, 18, and that's fine. I pull it from my personal envelope and we good. But in my brain, I'm adding it up. Going to the grocery store. Okay, I can't get that. I got to put that back. Is this necessary? Okay, what do you have at home already? Because sometimes we can overbuy and we ain't using stuff we had at home. So that's another factor. So that's something else I think about. And I noticed that when you see your cash leaving, you treat it totally different. For example, back in the day, I'm going to a party that's going to be at a bar or a club. Oh, I know I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to get 2 drinks, maybe 3, and have a good time. Now, because we spending cash, we're like, okay, we probably only got enough for 1 drink. Okay? Or if you find out, you get there and they got some drink specials. So I find myself, what's the drink specials? Oh, okay. Like I went to some party and I lucked up because I said, only going to have $12. I'm only going to have, I said, I got $12 to drink. And I said, okay. I went to this party at this bar, at this club. And they had drink specials. So you could get the martini drinks for like $6. I said, oh, great. I could get 2 drinks. I walked in that place thinking $12, that's only going to give me really 1 drink. But it ended up getting me 2. So in situations like that, or if I find out that they have like $3 glass of wine, or I do drink Red's apple beer and then an Angry Orchard beer. That's the only 2 beers I would drink. If they have that for $3 or $4, I would get that. So I just been trying to navigate different ways how to go out and do things. I check the menus when I go out to eat, if I'm going out to eat, which is not often anymore. Like they opened a Cooper Hawk that's not too far from my job. So, a couple of my friends, they wanted to go, and I said, well, I'm doing this envelope thing, so I want to get a certain amount of money for the week. So, of course, I went on the website, looked the online menu up, and then I got to see that, what I can afford. And I planned accordingly. The bill came. Everybody's pondering, scratching their head. One girl, she spent like $57 something by her damn self. And I'm looking at her like, oh, my bill came. The bill was like $16.49 or $17.30. I remember that. I had a $20 bill because I had advocated $20. So I was able to pay for and I had a glass of wine on top of that. So I was able to pay for my bill, had a glass of wine, and gave a small tip. And I did that all with $20. So it's just things like that. I just be mindful now when I do things, and when you spending cash, you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's definitely a different mindset. Now, people are asking, do you use your debit card still? Yes, I do for certain instances. Now, when I figure out the gas, I have not got the gas down to a science for 2 weeks. Because it depends. I can fill the car up, but if that's a weekend where I'm all over the city in the suburbs and it's a lot going on, or if it's that following week, that it's just going to a bunch of places and the gas go down, I might have to fill it up. Put some more gas in there. I haven't got that down to a science, so that's why I use the money that's left in the checking account after the bill's been paid, after the money been pulled out to go to this envelope stuff. I leave a cushion in there for things like that. Okay, I gotta go get $15 more worth of gas, or this come up, I gotta write a check to do that. So that's what I use, the cushion that's left in the checking account. And I might not follow it like everybody else, but I'm learning that everybody's doing they're doing their own thing. They're using this system, but they're making it work for them. So it might change, if circumstances change, but I feel like it's working for me now because it makes me conscious. Feel like I'm walking around and having no money now. I'm walking around, I'm having some money. And if it's like, if I went wild and crazy on a weekend, you just know this is all you got. For like example, one week, I had a good time that weekend, spending my little cash, and it was like, money came around and said, okay, I got $15. But I knew I was bringing my lunch. I knew I was going to be cooking dinner, or something was going on that I didn't have to worry about dinner. And then there are some times where I still go, my mom say, come on over here and eat for dinner, blah, blah, blah. So, because the thing about it, the summers, I make less money because I don't have the opportunity to teach. During the fall semester and spring semester, I teach 2 classes. So that is a separate income that's coming in. Over the summer, I don't have any of that, which is a huge difference in having my teaching stipend money and not having it. And during summer months, I don't have it at all. So I have to, spend a little differently. So that's why the reason, I tell people summers, we have to be careful on summers. And if people say, well, we see you traveling, honey, trust and believe. I hustled. I'm doing other things. Like I went to Texas. I was going to Detroit, but I ended up changing my mind. I'm going to St. Louis in a few weeks for a family reunion. I'll be in New Orleans in August. So I had put that money up. I was doing the Chicago elections. I was judging. I took all my election check money, and that was toward to start building because that wasn't like part of my pay. So I said I'm going to put that to build my travel fund. So that set the tone for me to go on some of these trips, was having 2 election checks and just putting money in there to cushion. And then I do have a Christmas fund. I started that. I'm working on that now because it's summer months and there is some less money. It's slowing down on the amount I'm putting in. I'm still trying to put in, but it's not as high as it was during my teaching moments and stuff. So that's just the gist of where I'm at. That's just an overview. You can Google Dave Ramsey's Envelope method. It's a ton of different videos out there. You can check. Like I said, people are doing different things. I'm doing what works for me. So that's pretty much it. That's all. I'm sorry it's 34 plus minutes. But I hope you learned something from this, and I hope you get the gist of my story. And trust and believe. I didn't think this worked. This works. This stuff, now it is tedious. It is a burden, but it works. Trust me and believe. So I'm going to stop there, meditate, see if this works for you. Peace out. Peace.